I'm Anthony Weiner. I'm running for mayor of the city of New York in the Democratic primary. Well, I come from a completely different place than they do. I've got nothing but municipal elected officials who are kind of part of the status quo of New York City today. When people talk about the Bloomberg years, I've got a controller, a former controller, a public advocate, a city council speaker. These are folks that basically came from the same place, making the same promises to the same people. I'm offering an alternative, an issue-based campaign. The best moment on the campaign, I guess, was I was at a subway stop. I think it was here on the Upper West Side. And I was just there greeting voters, and the moment I walked up, this guy gets 3 feet in front of me and starts yelling at the top of his lungs about something. I think it was about a vote I took in Congress. And then people were coming out of the subway, and they started yelling at him, and then people started shouting questions to me, and then they started shouting at each other, and this crowd had formed, 7 or 8 or 9, 10 people deep, of hundreds of different conversations going on at once, me going back and forth with them, and I was thinking to myself, this is quintessential New York. I can't imagine in Minneapolis there was that kind of a cauldron of activity. And it was a lot of fun. It wasn't always people who definitely were going to support me, and it wasn't even people that agreed with me, but just that sense of civic engagement that I really enjoy, and I think it's one of the things that's great about a mayor's campaign. Well, there haven't been a lot of really bad ones, but look, I mean, I remember early on in the campaign, before we had much infrastructure, I have tried in this campaign to take city bike, mass transit, subways everywhere I could, and I went to a dinner, me and my political director, and the dinner ended, it was like a reception, I think, for the Dominican Day Parade, or the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and it was in Times Square, and we walked outside. It was right when all the theater crowd was getting out. It was pouring with rain, and I was walking my way through these tourists, and drenched with rain, thinking to myself, boy, the campaign's only a couple of weeks old and already I'm just like dying over here. But all things being considered, I haven't had a lot of really bad days on the campaign. I mean, there have been ups and there have been downs, but campaigning and this job is supposed to be, the job is a pretty tough job, so having a tough campaign that doesn't really seem that tough to me. You know what? It's actually has been, I mean, look, it's had ups and downs, and but I've always said the campaign should be tough. I'm trying to get a pretty tough job. Look, I mean, here's the bottom line, is that if you want a mayor who's got really good ideas, who's shown that he's got the strength to fight for them, and someone who's got a level of independence to be able to get those things done, I'm their only choice. I'm New Yorkers' only choice. And I know I'm an imperfect messenger, but I'm an imperfect messenger for the very best ideas in this campaign, and I would be the best mayor. That's why I'm fighting so hard for the middle class and those struggling to make it. 2 books of ideas, 125 ideas, no big endorsements, no running around with famous people, just focusing on New Yorkers and their challenges.